This should never happen. If you challenge an election, you should be able to challenge an election. I thought the election was a rigged election, a stolen election, and I should have every right to do that. As you know, you have many people that you've been watching over the years do the same thing, whether it's Hillary Clinton or Stacey Abrams or many others.
Yeah, that's not the same thing, buddy. All right. He just keeps doing the exact same thing over and over, and it's just keeps digging himself a hole. But yeah, so this is on the Kenneth Copeland funded show Flashpoint, and the news just broke on this show that Trump was arrested and had to actually go down there, which was what he was trying to avoid. So let's watch let's watch these people freak out about this shit. It's gonna be kind of fun. I don't know. So I'm Brentley, and this is the Punk Apostate. Let's go. All right, so yeah, this is the show Flashpoint, and my goodness, it's I just watched like the very beginning, so it's kind of funny. They're starting out with this clip of Trump and him basically doing the thing he got arrested for, more and harder. I don't know. He's like, I'll just do the crime harder and then it'll be okay. It'll be okay as long as I just keep doing the crime harder.
When you have that great freedom to challenge, you have to be able to. Otherwise, you're going to have very dishonest elections. What has taken place here is a travesty of justice. We did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong.
Oh my
and everybody knows it. I've never had such support. And that goes with the other ones, too. What they're doing is election interference. They're trying to interfere with an election.
I love it when he rephrases the same thing he just said like a half a second ago. He's like, this is election interference, when they interfere with an election. That's what that is. Like, okay, man, got it. Yeah.
Before, this is their way of campaigning. And this is one instance, but you have three other instances. It's election interference. So I want to thank you for being here. We did nothing wrong at all. And we have every right, every single right, to
all the rights.
An election that we think is dishonest, that we think it's very dishonest. So thank you all very much, and I'll see you very soon. Thank you very much.
To Fulton County, Ben Burquam, Real America's Voice, Law and Border. Ben, you're there. You saw Trump. Tell me.
Oh, they got a man on the scene with Real America's Voice. All right.
What's going on there?
Yeah, it's been a long day, hot day. We've been out here since 7 this morning. President Trump came and went. It was actually a lot faster than I think anybody anticipated. He was in and out. It seemed like in about 10 minutes. And what we anticipate is that he that a much
like no, but who else gets in and out of anything legal? Doesn't matter what it is. Like even just a fucking traffic ticket doesn't take 10 minutes.
Shot was taken. Possibly fingerprints were taken, which seems idiotic. The guy's not a flight risk. Even the $200,000 that they're requiring.
Ever said they're interfering with my interference? God damn it! Come on.
Requiring him to pay a bond seems, it's really chump change for him. But what was really interesting, I'd say my biggest takeaway today is interviewing the folks, hundreds of people out here in support of President Trump, maybe a dozen in opposition to President Trump. But what was interesting was I had several people come up to me and
it was people in opposition to Donald Trump showing up to be like, yeah, fuck your face, bro. Fuck you.
Actually, one mom in particular who said her son is actually in the jail behind us in the Fulton County jail on RICO charges. He's been in there for a year and 3 months, is not being given a bond. And she supports President Trump now because President Trump is experiencing the injustice that her son has experienced. So what's interesting, it'll be really interesting.
He made it out in 10 minutes. No, he didn't. Wow.
To see how all of this plays out. But what I do know is, God always uses what the enemy means for evil for good. And so ultimately, that's my prayer, is that God uses everything.
Yeah. Amber said, I do enjoy how the evangelical channel pretends to be a news outlet, less so that so many take them seriously. Yeah. Right. Yeah, they have it like has the look, you know what I mean? It is funny how it works. But they're so it's so much not news though. It's like Fox, but like super Christian, like Fox would be like this if Murtaugh wasn't like scared of Christianity. He thinks it's weird and they're all freaky and weird, but he panders to them all the time. But he's like, I will never, he won't be like this on the nose, It's funny how that goes.
The darkness that we see going across our country for good and ultimately for his victory. And I pray that it continues that revival that we've seen over the last couple of years across America. But there's no question about it. It's a sad day as well. This is not not a happy day for America.
Ben, it's like they must be all over the place because I swear I've only seen trucks drive by back here.
Was there much? I haven't seen on any of the news coverage. Was there any crowds there to welcome him as he walked off the plane? Did you see many people, or was it pretty much uneventful?
And a cop car.
Yeah, no, there was actually a large crowd, not where he entered or exited. So what was interesting was how Fulton County basically cordoned off the Trump supporters. Where we started this morning was on Rice Road, which is about a block and a half from where I'm standing now. Jefferson is where the main entrance to the jail is, just behind me here. And this is where President Trump came in. It's the main entrance, and he left. He exited through here. But the crowd of a couple hundred at least who've been here all day sweating in the sun.
Couple hundred.
On the other side, that's where they relegated them, the supporters of President Trump, to stay. But they've been out here all day. I interviewed people all day. The question I had is, do you think this helps or hurts President Trump? And
that's so weird, man. Who's out there just like, we're going to make a family day of it? Yeah, Trump's going to prison today. Yeah, get the family together. Okay, we got to go down and do this. All right, we'll fit them all in the truck. I don't know. We got to take the truck though. Okay, I don't want to look stupid. All right, like
fail. Every Trump supporter says it helps them. Now on the other side, it's the exact opposite. So. The left will say it hurts him. The MAGA base will say it helps him.
God damn, that is a good point. Andrea said, explain to me how Trump is not a flight risk. Literally, he has a fucking plane, man. Like, if of all the of anybody that could possibly be a flight risk, he like takes the fucking cake. Holy shit. Empress said he literally took a flight to get there. Come on, Jesus Christ.
But there's no question, too, that debate last night, with just the arrogance that you saw from Mike Pence. One of the things that I was interviewing people today about
Mike Pence is the one that's got the arrogance. I mean, he is pretty arrogant, but like you're talking about how great president, you keep calling him President Trump is, and but somebody else is arrogant. Like what? Like that's a bad thing? Jesus, like I feel like their logic is just so self-defeating. They're like, arrogance is a bad thing. I like Trump though. I like it. It's different. That's a different arrogance. Okay, that's a deserved arrogance.
With that as well was the questions that were asked and the questions that weren't asked. One of the questions that was never brought up last night was election integrity, and the fact that every single person on that stage said Mike Pence did the right thing. When it comes to the Trump MAGA base,
the only legal thing he could do, man. What is wrong with y'all? Holy shit, that's pageantry, man. Fucking, he couldn't just go in and be like, you know what, fuck all this shit. Let's just, I don't like the results, so never mind. You can't do that.
That is the exact wrong answer. So it'll be interesting to see, as you mentioned, the polls are kind of where they are. President Trump is leading in a commanding way. But again, that's the
Andrew said, then a few seconds later, he said that the bond Trump posted is Trump change to Trump. So he's super rich, like rich enough to be able to flee the country. Yes. What the fuck? It is insane. Wow.
The question, it's easy to be Sunday morning quarterback or Monday morning quarterback, but it's
right.
How this actually affects him, whether or not he needs to do one of the other debates.
I don't understand sports ball references. Did that make sense? I don't know. What the fuck? Anyway.
Right. Or if he just needs to keep indicted. And
it's easy to be. I highly doubt that it's easy to be a quarterback just in any sense of the word. Okay, but I guess the day depends. I don't know. I have no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. Ben Berquam, thank you, sir. Thank you for
His name's Quam.
In tonight, and we'll see you soon.
I got some qualms with that guy.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right, John, let me go to you out of this. One of the things that was not mentioned, as Ben Berquam brought up, the whole fact that election integrity was not even approached last night. What's your thoughts?
I think that was brilliant. That's exactly what the problem is. And the tension we're seeing play out here, even with, you ribbing Rick a little bit and his DeSantis support and Trump, what we saw last night was historic.
We all have fun here. We have fun. You're just some harmless ribbon,
People are sick and tired of talking points, 30, 60 seconds to say the same thing. And that was the refreshing thing about Trump with all his.
Like, we need logical arguments. That's what we need instead of talking points. It's like all you got, it's like you're on the right, man. All you got is talking points, man. If you if you followed any of your talking points to their logical conclusion, it would eat itself by the end.
His chaos, as Lance so eloquently said.
He can't say eloquently said eloquently.
People are tired of this, but they want something real. And you got over half of the Republican Party going, I love his policies. What's happening to him is wrong. But I also have some problems that I'm willing to kick the tires. Unless they see something better and stronger, they're not going to do it. And I don't know. We got a lot of time here. Here's what I predict is going to happen. And I'm not saying this is prophetic, but you've had the 4 different indictments. You've got.
I love how they have to make that distinction. Like, here's what I think is going to. Now, this isn't a prophecy or anything, because I know a lot of people do that on this channel. So I'm not doing. I'm just a guess. Just like what I think. Anyway.
And the silliness, the shallowness last night of Vivek. Oh, I'll pardon him. Okay, that's great. The problem is you can't pardon a state crime, Vivek. You don't understand basic law and the law and basic constitution.
Yeah, they'll sit there and say that this is a hit job from Biden, for a state crime. Yeah, but yet they don't understand. Come on, man. Like, it's almost as if you don't have to understand anything or be consistent in any way, shape, or form.
Constitution did this. No, that didn't happen until 5 years after the revolution. And so it's marketing brilliance, but it doesn't last. So I see Vivek's going to climb and then he's going to implode. Remember Herman Cain? There's been Newt Gingrich, Rick Perry, a lot of people that came up and went down. The steadiness is what people are going to see. And I predict we're going to have a DeSantis, Trump at the end of next spring sometimes, like we had Cruz and Trump. Now, what's going to happen? I don't know.
Was Cruz and Trump really the last two to stand before he became president?
I'm not predicting that.
I don't
I'm
remember.
Ready to do whatever God wants to do. My hope is not in any of these people. My hope is in God. And so I'm watching God saying, God, what are you doing here? I want to be on your side. I don't want to have a side. I want to say, what are you doing here? I want to just do what my part of this whole thing is. And so I think it's brilliant that he said nobody talked about election integrity. It was ridiculously silly. They only talked about 5 or 6 issues, and everybody had 30 seconds, and half the people shouldn't have even been there. They're not even outside the margin.
It's the first night. Oh my God. Okay.
Of error in the polls, Gene.
Yeah.
There's like 50 people up there, man. It's the first fucking one. Like, that's how that goes. Like, as the people not get knocked off the stage, it's like last man standing. It's like that movie with Bruce Willis, it's just like that. It's just like
Here's what I think. You know what? I'm going to double down on what I said originally. Trump, I said that Donald Trump was a modern day Cyrus, that God put him into office for the sake of his people. I think anybody that doesn't.
Yeah, don't bring up the guy that Herman Cain, the guy 45 killed with criminal negligence in the pandemic. Yeah. Don't bring that guy up. Like, come on, man. You don't want people thinking about that.
See the Supreme Court impact that he had, the Middle East impact, the economic impact.
That's right.
He reset things.
Oh, Lance Wallnut. No, I love this dude.
That the devil is trying to unwind as fast as possible. And I don't think that anointing is off of him. And now here's what you're going to see. You're going to see, like Delilah, when Sam.
Okay, so this is a prophecy, y'all. We got to make that distinct. This is not a guess. This is a prophet. So we got to.
Samson was there with her. And she says, Samson, the Philistines are upon you. And then every single DA that heaps on him another 50 indictments to summarize, 400 of them, you're going to watch him go boom and break them all off of him over and over again. And at some point, the backlash is going to be when it's overkill. 25% of the country, only 25%.
Okay, I know this doesn't matter, but can we appreciate the background here for a second? There is the the tomato from VeggieTales. God, I can't think of his name. And Trump's a little figurine of Trump hugging a flag. I have a hard time concentrating on what he's saying.
After all the devil's done, believe the Justice Department is actually functioning right. 75% of Americans, and that includes Democrats, don't believe the Justice Department is functioning except as a political entity. So I think this thing is going to start to backfire in a big way.
I don't think that's true. that even Democrats think that it's politically ran, especially against Trump. Like, come on, man.
I think times.
I think what they're taking it out of context, if that's the case. Like, that's probably like the small percentage of leftists that are like, yeah, fuck the police. I don't know, like what, I hate them. Why? Yeah, of course they're politically driven to protect the rich, and they're like, cool, that's on our point. That's a point for us right there, I'm
gonna tell that for sure. Let me show you what Trump did say last night in this Tucker interview. We got a clip here of him talking about Joe Biden and a Manchurian candidate. Huh? Watch.
That was my thought, huh?
Penny gets millions of dollars. China pays this guy millions of dollars. See, I think he's the most corrupt president we've ever had. And he also has the distinction of being the most incompetent. And I believe both. I mean, he's both incompetent and corrupt. So
Wait, is he talking about himself? Is that what is he?
I really believe he's compromised because China knows so much about him. They know where the money comes from. They know where it is, who paid it, and they probably paid it. Well, they do pay Penn, and he gets $1 million. I think it takes $999,000 because keeps it a little bit under $1 million, like by $1. But he, in many ways, is a Manchurian.
That was just like a little like he's like, oh yeah, that's how you trick them. That's how you trick them. That's how you make sure that you just keep it like $1 under $1 million, then they can't see it. It's invisible.
Manchurian candidate.
Rick, what do you think? A Manchurian candidate? What do you think? Explain.
Well, Denzel Washington would have been a better Manchurian candidate. But yeah, there's no doubt. I loved the Tucker interview, by the way. I thought it was. I love the fact that they were talking about everything 1 minute and then.
So, like, let's get away from like the actual substance of what he was saying. Be like, I loved it. The interview is this man and talking back and forth, both their faces moving, and everything. Like
extremely serious things. Another minute. It was great. Back and forth. But I enjoyed the Manchurian candidate comments as well. And frankly, here's why people love Trump, because he tells it like it is. I mean, even to talk about the health of Joe Biden, the fact that he can't lift his feet when he's walking, all of those things, he calls it like it is. And that's what draws people to him. They know that he's not trying to pull one over on us. He's not plastic. He's not practiced. He's just being himself. And frankly, he's saying what we all know. Listen, we watch the press conferences. We know this guy's not running the show. Somebody behind the scenes is running the show. And I couldn't help but laugh when he said what he did about the beach pictures and how horrible Joe Biden looks on the beach. And anyway, it's a great interview. Everybody should go watch it.
Yeah, Trump looks excellent on the beach. He looks like that one picture where he's Rocky, it's like Rocky's body, but Trump's face somehow. Yeah, that's how he looks at the beach.
All right, let me show you. John, I'm going to go to you after this. This is what President Trump on Tucker had to say about Kamala Harris. Watch.
Oh, great.
So back to Biden, I'm interested. So you think he's failing? He obviously is failing. I think it's clear to everybody. But that would make Kamala Harris the candidate?
Well, not really. I mean, I guess they'd have maybe a free-for-all. A lot of people say she has to remain for certain reasons the candidate. She has to. I don't think that's true, actually. I don't think that other people would stand for it. She has some bad moments. Her moments are almost as bad as his. I think his are worse, actually.
Yeah. She seems pretty senile, too.
She speaks in rhyme. It's weird. It's weird.
What?
But she has bad moments. And
in rhyme?
The way she talks, the bus will go here, and then the bus will go there, because that's what buses do. And it's weird.
That's not a rhyme, man. Do you know what a rhyme is? I don't think he knows what a rhyme is.
The whole thing is weird. This is not a president of the United States.
It'd be like here with a beer. And that's very clear. That'd be a rhyme, you dumb fuck.
And I think they probably have some kind of a primary.
Fucking idiot.
Other people will get involved.
Break that out, John. I mean, other than being funny about the bus going here.
Tucker and Trump, back and forth. Can't unhear.
There. I want to, break this down for the people, because I get this question all the time. Well, that means it's just automatically Kamala.
That's what it is. It's like, she's like doing a witch spell, that's why she speaks in rhymes. Amber said, she's a sorceress.
Or if Biden were to step out or whatever, be removed or whatever, Trump alludes to that may not necessarily be what happens.
Well, what Trump says is there could be a primary where people get in. Everybody's talking about Gavin Newsom. Everybody's making a big thing out of him being the golden child to kind of swoop in. A lot of people behind the scenes have said, "Oh, what about Michelle Obama? They work a deal with Kamala, put her back in the Senate because remember Dianne Feinstein's having lots of health problems. She's 90." Whatever she is, even older than Biden. And so they can put Kamala back in her Senate seat, put Michelle Obama there.
The old people in Congress is a fucking problem. Like, I think we need to cap this shit off at some point. Okay. You don't just get to stay forever. This is insane.
And then take her there if Obama's really in charge of this whole thing. What I think is fascinating. Here's what I think is fascinating. Trump is so the way
yeah, cheers. Like Trump commits egregious crimes. Maggots are like, Joe Biden looks gross on the beach though, so gotta vote for Trump.
talks, the way he moves, and it almost draws people in because he's so kind of almost savant awkward, and so it draws people in, and yet it was brilliant marketing, brilliant. You've got Tucker, who's the #1 Fox News, gets fired. Okay, I don't want to go to the debate, but let me one up the whole thing. I'm not going to show up at the debate because I'm up by 30 points, but I'm going to go on Tucker and go at the same time. It's brilliant, but I really want to say something prophetic, and I don't know what's going to happen.
Hold on. Now, of course he doesn't want to go on the debate because then he'd have to actually think on his feet, man, and he'd have to work his talking points in between other people. He doesn't want to share a stage with other people. The show is just about him. And so he's just like, I shouldn't even have to go, basically, which is crazy because that literally works the opposite as how the debates are supposed to go. You're supposed to be the one that has the most debates because you're the one favored to win and you're the one not even there. Jesus Christ.
We'll see. Okay. So the DeSantis train slow and steady. Trump's all the marketing brilliance and genius and all that. It could be what Lance said. And I know felt this 2 or 3 times.
And just like, what is savant awkward? Rain Man, That's what I was thinking. He can count a bunch of toothpicks or something. I don't know, man.
Now that this could be like Samson, that someone that God does anoint. Yes, he does have the anointing. Yes, he was like Cyrus, a man who didn't even know God, but God used him for the Supreme Court, for Israel, for all these amazing, amazing things that we pray for.
And God gave him magical powers. He didn't know God. I'm like, really?
And yet God could be playing this whole thing out where he's like Samson. He pulls the pillars apart. He takes down all the Philistines, but it's not the way the MAGA crowd want it, and it's not Trump.
I love how they're like, they don't want to be like, oh, he's like Jesus because he's so not like Jesus. Like Jesus was humble and liked poor people and stuff. But Samson, let's go with Samson. He's just destroying the establishment. That's cool, right? Samson, yeah, let's go.
I don't know that that's going to happen. I just wonder prophetically. I'm more of 2 Chronicles 20:12. We don't know what to do. Our eyes are on you. I'm just watching God with this whole thing because clearly God's at work here in a very unusual way. And I promise you, just like last night, has never happened before. What's going to happen next year has never happened before. And don't presume what it is, because that's where we make mistakes when we follow God, is when we think we know how it's going to go. Dr. Jackson said earlier, Proverbs 3, don't trust on your own understanding. Stay sensitive to God. Even if you get all the way to obedience and you got your hand up and he says, nope, I just wanted to know if you'd obey me.
Oh my
God.
God.
Kill your son. There's a lamb provided.
They talk about that story like it's not batshit crazy. They're like, hold on, just kidding. Don't murder your own child. I was goofing. I just wanted to see, here's a ram. And then if you actually think about how that story went, it sounds like a completely insane person that's like, oh, a ram. Oh, that must be God telling me not to murder my child. Like, it's fucking crazy.
Amen. All right, Lance, let's start to wrap this up. I got 5 minutes. I'll let you go first.
Yeah, well, here's an interesting thought. I think that let's remember, they're saying how Trump is unelectable. How could you possibly elect him? They are paranoid. If I get one aspect of gratification out of their obsession with Trump, is that he's renting headspace in the left. They are scared to death that he could win. And they don't understand it. It's like he's like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Every time they shoot him, he keeps getting back up. They can't stop him. And what
Is that how Buffy the Vampire Slayer works? Like they just kept shooting her and she just kept getting. She's a person, right? Okay, and then she fights vampire. And anyway, you know
Ought to gratify you in the Flashpoint audience is the only thing they fear, along with Trump, is they fear the populist movement. That's why they had a meltdown. And did you hear what Trump
they're the ones having a meltdown. Yep, that's
said
it.
about
Yep.
January 6th? I'm surprised everybody he said, "Oh, it was a beautiful experience. It was so much love." It was. He described an event totally the opposite of what the insurrection.
Yeah.
He said it was one of the greatest meetings in the world. They're afraid of us, Gene, and they're afraid of him, and that gratifies me.
You are losing your mind, sir. It's like, I just like that I make people mad. Oh, it's okay though that he's arrested. Like, Jesus Christ.
Are you gratified?
Losing your damn
since
mind.
everybody's making predictions tonight, I'm going to do like Lance. I'm going to double down. I've said all along, Joe Biden will not be the nominee. There's no way. It's going to be either Michelle Obama swooping in or, maybe
Michelle
Gavin Newsom,
Obama.
but somebody else is going to have to step in.
Is that a thing? Am I missing like news again, which happens frequently? Is she supposed to swoop in and take like, haha, president now? Because, I get like the Democrats want like she can just start running, I guess. Like, I don't know.
I don't think there's any way it's Kamala either. So I think we may be preparing for something that's not going to exist at all. I still say, and I'll double down again, it's Trump's to lose. It's most likely it's going to be him. He's the greatest president of our lifetime. But I do think
that is so like their way of thinking. The fact that we're losing means we're winning, and it's great. I wish I had their kind of confidence, man. Holy shit. I think like people on the left are always second guessing everything, and Republicans are just like fully confident, just just smashing into everybody. So confident. God.
DeSantis will end up being a real challenge before it's over. He's the greatest governor of our lifetime, and I look forward to seeing those two on the debate stage together at some point. I just want to close my point by saying
I highly doubt that's ever going to happen.
Something alluding to what Lance just said. It's the grassroots. It's the populist movement. Our focus needs to be most importantly on what we are doing in our neighborhoods. Do not put your hope in any of these men or women. We don't put our hope or our faith in them. We do the hard work. We look for the ones that best represent our biblical values and what we believe and what we're fighting for. But regardless of who ends up winning in 2024, or who gets sworn in January of 2025.
Because you can't say that anybody ever really wins. It's like no one ever really dies, but no one ever really wins an election.
The fight does not stop or slow down. This is going to be a generational war for the heart and soul of America, and we can't put all of our eggs in one basket of one single election or one single office.
If he this is what freaks me out about this whole thing, man. Because and this is why I know the reason they didn't sit there and hold him for very long. If they arrested him and treated him like a normal human, these people would fucking lose it, man. And they'd be showing up with their goddamn rocket launchers at the prison and shit. I don't know. It's kind of freaky. That it is. I would say that I am a little nervous about these people because they're insane, they're hateful, and they love fucking guns, So yeah, they make me a little bit nervous,
So good. All right, John, 30 seconds.
If I could wrap this up, I would say even what they just said both go together. If there's an outside
Doc Pearson said, Michelle Obama started a national swoop club. Didn't you know? No.
Possibility of something. What if
I'm not up on crazy conspiracy land, right wing 4chan combos, I don't know.
DeSantis and Trump get all the way into next May, June, whatever, and they work together? Wouldn't that be incredible? Nobody thinks about that kind of stuff. We think binary, we think black and white, but God doesn't think like we think. So I'm looking for all kinds of possibilities, just going, God, where are you in this process? So I don't disagree with anything that's being said. I think that these are the two guys that we need to watch and be praying about.
Amen. All right, I'm going to show you this because you're going to see it tomorrow everywhere. This is Trump's mugshot. It's just released. There you go, Donald Trump.
God, I was on Facebook. Somebody said that he looks like a Muppet that was put into putting back into the bin for scaring the kids, and that's the faces.
He does happy.
That is so
Let
good.
me show you a picture of Joe Biden today.
Oh, now we got
Biden's 378th
juxtaposed here.
vacation day since taking office. 40% of his presidency on vacation. That's like Lance's terms. Good to have you back, Lance. John Graves, good to have you.
Oh, deep dig. You're like Biden, Lance. You know that? You're like, oh, motherfucker, that's not funny.
Hey, Rick.
Look at him clenching his fists. Oh, shit.
Good to have you, even though, I don't agree with you most of the time. Anyway, and Ben Bergquam.
Hey, by the way, Trump should make that mugshot his campaign photo for everything. That's what I would do. I love it.
That actually is a great idea. I agree with that.
The Flashpoint Live Truth and Freedom
Of course
Tour
they
is
would.
returning to the
Oh, my God. Yeah. So that was kind of a fun little freak out for the morning there. Just a quick little video I had to cover. So thanks, everybody, for hanging out, And if you want to do a prison fantasy of some sort, you can go to adamandeve.com. And she could be the guard and you could be the inmate and vice versa. That's always fun, right? And they have all the toys you need at adamandeve.com to do that. So go to adamandeve.com, enter code word Brentley at checkout to get 50% off almost any one item, 3 free gifts, 6 free movies, and free shipping on the whole order. Just go to adamandeve.com, enter code word Brentley, that's Brently, at checkout and get your exclusive offer. So, yeah, thank you all so much for hanging out. This is a lot of fun. I wanted to make sure once I saw it pop up there, it was like just a little bit ago, it just popped up. So I wanted to make sure to cover it real quick. And, I think I'll be back tomorrow. We'll see if not tomorrow, Monday. But all right, y'all, make sure you stay logical, loving, skeptical, and compassionate. And we will see you next time.